Welcome back to another episode of Level Up Your Game. I'm Rip, and as always, I'm joined by MYK and True. Don't forget our app is on the App Store, Android App Store, and the iPhone App Store now. Level Up Your Game. Follow us on Twitter, Level Up Your Game. The name is Mike, and nothing. And so we're going to do Steve today. MYK is here, of course. So kick back, relax, and get ready to level up your game. Alrighty, so as usual, we're going to kick things off with Punishers. MYK, take it away.
Alright, so Steve is a character that doesn't really have amazing punishers, but his basic stuff is pretty good, like, compared to the general stuff. Alright, so let's start off with his 10. His most basic 10-frame punisher would be his 1-2.
Ow.
Right there.
Oh, you want me to?
Yeah. It's only 20 damage, but he does get his most frame advantage after 1-2. I'm not exactly sure on the numbers, but it is, if I remember correctly, it's like somewhere from 4 to 6. So it is the option that does give him the most frame advantage, but if you want the most guaranteed damage, you would definitely go for a 1-1-2. It should do 30 damage, and it is plus 10 on, plus 3 on the hit.
Plus 10 would be great, dude.
That'd be too good.
1-1-2, 1-1-2, 1-1-2, 1-1-2.
I've been playing too much Street
But
Fighter.
remember, you could duck the last hit, so.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to talk about next. Like, let's say Law does something, like, really tight. Like,
Really tight.
I was just thinking it over in my head. I was like, that sounds terrible. But
Go
yeah,
on.
Like, something tight to punish. Like, let's say minus 10 and not minus 11 or something. It's like, you have to get perfect 10-frame punish.
Like 3 plus 4, I think.
Yeah, so Law has a 3 plus 4, and that's exactly minus 10, or like Brian's while standing 3. So those things you would have to go for a 1-1-2, right? And let's say if I do a 1-1-2, I kind of have to hit confirm it after the first hit of the 1. You can't really do it after the second one because by then they could already duck.
Right, it should be free as a natural combo, but like sometimes you'll be like a frame late in punishing, so you got to confirm it so that they don't duck your last 2 and punish you with the launcher.
Exactly. So let's just show him like what can happen. Like 1-1-2, if I mess up, he ducks, I get launched, I'm dead. But here's another thing that Steve players should keep in mind that you can do. If you notice that, like, let's say I block Law's 3 plus 4, and then I mess up the punish and he was already ducking, and I could just do 1-1 down 1. So in case you are feeling off on your punisher, you can do 1-1 down 1 to just keep him honest with 1-1-2. Yeah, and you can also do 1 down 1 as well. Another 10-frame punisher that just talking about the 1-1-2 series in general, just 1-1 is not bad. It does like the least amount of damage after his 10-frame punish is 14, but it does leave you close enough to get a down back 3 on hit.
Oh.
So it's like, it's not bad because if you want to scare him, you can just do, 1-1 and just to punish, and then, go straight into a mix-up, And then after that, what does he have? He has a minus 13, which is his down forward 1-2. Also, keep in mind, this move is also duckable. It does not jail, which means, like, if you block the first hit of it, you can duck. But the thing that also saves him with this as well, he has a down forward 1-2-1. So if they try to duck your down forward 1-2 and punish in time, I could do a down forward 1-2-1 if I'm off, and then he gets counter hit for just trying to duck and punish me. Like, just block the first one and try to while standing for the second hit. Yeah.
Nice.
Like if you notice if you're off, you can just save yourself with down forward 1-2-1.
Interesting.
And he also has down forward 1-2-2, which does give a flop stun, but they could tech out of that.
If they don't tech, do you get like enough forward 2?
Yeah, I could do pretty much whatever I want.
Do duck 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, we can come back to that kind of stuff. Let's move on with punishers though.
Okay, and then the next thing he has after that is his back 1-2 for his 13-frame punisher. It is 32 damage, so it is only 2 more damage than 1-1-2. But it's only it's only plus 1 rather than plus 3 from 1-1-2. If you just absolutely need 2 more damage, go for back 1-2. But 1-1-2 is pretty much your best bet for a while. And then after that, he has Sonic Fang at 14 frames. Yeah, and then the sad part about this is that his 14 frame Punisher is actually less damage than his 1-1-2. So
Really?
Yeah, it only does 26. Yeah.
But it gives you a knockdown.
It gives me a knockdown, and if their back is towards the wall and they're about this distance away from Law and Steve right now, they'll wall splat and you get a full combo. But
Okay.
pretty much, you'll only use Sonic Fang if you absolutely need to. Like, let's say the move has pushback or something. Like, let's say Law's flip. Yeah, like, there we go. 4-4-3 is a good example. Sonic Fang would be the optimal choice there because down forward 1-2 also doesn't hit. Back 1-2 shouldn't hit. And 1-1-2 is definitely not going to hit.
Cool.
And then after that, the perfect 15 frame punish that Steve can do is a forward 4-2. But, you know, this again is really hard to do. Let's try to show a Law doing it down 2-3. You know, it is possible, but if you mess up, you know, some characters can hurt you pretty bad for it.
Yeah, like Law's gonna get a while standing 1-2.
Yeah, so you probably wouldn't go for perfect 15s on, you know, perfect 15 4-4-2s on, you know, characters like Law. But the thing is, the trick to get it to be perfect 15 is that, like, let's say you're blocking, you have to input your first forward during your block stun. Then you know, release the second one right as soon as it comes out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So for 16 frames, Steve actually does have a down back 3-2 that is 16 frames. So things like Julia's 4-2-1 leaves them close enough for a Steve down back 3-2. After down back 3-2, he does guarantee free Albatross down 2. But keep in mind, if they're far enough, they can side roll away from it upward from this position. So yeah, you have to be pretty quick on that. And then there's more Oki options after that. We'll talk about that later. But generally, 30 damage and then 17 on the ground. Less if you roll back. So let's show them. Yeah, it's only about, what is that, 40 damage?
Yeah.
40.
Only 40 guaranteed damage, so keep that in mind. And then after 16, what does he have? He has 19.
It jumps up to 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing special until Up Forward 2 comes out. And Up Forward 2, keep in mind, is pretty shitty. Pretty bad. It does have pretty bad range. Up Forward 2 is his 19 frame launcher. Steve is not like other characters where they do get launchers at 15 frames, generally. So Steve's launcher is going to be at 19 frames.
Jesus.
And it does have a pretty bad hitbox. Like, let's say,
What's the fastest you could get the Shoryuken out?
fastest you can get it, I'm not really sure. They said it, technically, Peekaboo is only supposed to be 1 frame if you do it perfectly. And Shoryuken is 16 frames. So theoretically, it should be 17 frame Shoryuken, but you're not really going to go for that.
Nin would do it.
Yeah, he's not going to do it either.
You know, it's actually interesting. You know, since I'm a Law player, I do down to 3, and a lot of Steve players actually do down back 3-2 to punish, even though it's not a true punish.
It's not a true
It's
punish,
1
yeah.
frame, you know, off. So I could block it,
Yes.
right? But you know, it's an option.
Yeah, I mean, you know, also, like, let's say Law does a hop kick. Sometimes just a regular hop kick.
I don't know how.
Just tap it.
Oh,
Like, I mean, a lot of stuff like launchers like that, it does leave Steve in range for down back 3-2. It's not a true punish, of course. But if you
Yeah.
want to just apply the mix up as soon as you can do that. Yeah. And then let's talk about his full crouch punishers. His full crouch punisher is, for 10 frame, is a full crouch jab like any other character would be. And then for 11 frames, this is where Steve excels at, just like his 1-1-2. It is a little better than average for 10 frame and then while standing 11 frame. It does 36 damage, 38?
36, I think.
Yeah, it is 36. Yeah, 36 damage. It's plus 1 and it leaves you in full crouch. It's plus 1 or 2 and leaves you in full crouch. And so, you know, if you do a 1-1, it will beat their, you know, if you do a jab series, it will beat their while standing 4s or 11 frame retaliations. But let's say I do a down forward 1, it will lose to their while standing 4s. So, yeah. But, you know, just keep in mind, it leaves them in crouch. If they try to while standing 4, you can sidestep and trade whiffs and stuff like that.
Nice.
And after that, it's just like his full crouch punisher would be 4-4-2 for minus 15 again, because if you are crouching or standing, 4-4 motions to cancel crouch.
So he has nothing between 11 and 15?
Yeah. Can we show Law doing full crouch down 4? Yeah, so it is possible.
Okay. And then after that, it just goes into what?
After that, just like his standing launcher, Steve's fastest launcher again is 19 frames, while
19.
standing 1+2.
It's 19, huh? No kidding.
So it is a pretty slow low, but like let me show you something that's pretty tricky about it. I mean, not for like punishers and stuff, but the move itself does like kind of have like a backswing blow effect to low attacks. So like let's say Law does a down jab after I do a down 2-1.
Oh.
It goes really low. And it hits really low to the ground too.
What the heck?
It hits side rolling.
Yeah, like in this situation, you can also make it hit grounded.
Wow.
No, just like grounded, like legit grounded. I forgot it. Oh yeah, I don't remember. Yeah. So you can make the move hit grounded, but you know that we'll go to that for a ground hitting move. But yeah, 19 frames is where Steve gets a launcher generally, while saying 1+2 or up forward 2.
So basically lows that have like guard stun.
Yeah. So big lows you can also do like duck 2, but while standing 1+2 will grant you more damage. This is a new addition to Steve for the Tekken 6 series.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of Steve players still don't even use it.
Yeah, I mean they should be using it. I mean
Yeah.
if they give him a launcher, might as well use it.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so that's pretty much about it. I mean he can use hop kick as well just to be like screw you, why would you do that to me? Just to be a jerk, but
Which one does more? While standing 1+2 or hop kick?
I believe the hop kick does do more damage,
Okay.
but like,
With the combo?
yeah, with the combo.
Okay.
It's 22 frames,
Yeah,
right?
can you do a Dragon 12? Yeah, so just keep in mind you do have to like time it. It doesn't have the lowest hitbox like while standing 1+2.
Okay.
Like you notice here, you can just while standing 1+2 right away. With a hop kick, you kind of have to wait for him to get up.
Oh, it looks like it does the same damage.
The damage is the same, yeah.
Oh,
Both
okay.
24. Both.
And the hop kick is 24 frames?
22?
It's I believe his hop kick is 23 frames and it's -14 on block. So, you know, just be careful. Don't, you know, I mean, both these moves are both -14 actually. So, and his up forward 2 is -13.
Okay, so I think that covers about all his punishers.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk about Steve's stances. Alright, so Steve is actually one of those characters that has way more stances than you would expect him to have. So, MYK, let's talk about Steve's stances.
Alright, so let's start off with the basic stuff. His 3 and his 4. Now, obviously, it doesn't really look like any other stance that you'll normally see from characters, but because it is an evasive kind of stance.
I just remembered he doesn't have kicks, other than
Yeah.
the jump kick and the
So
jump
his
stop.
3 is his, you know, like Tekken, like the buttons are configured to the character's limbs, and you know 3s would usually be a left kick, but instead of a kick, Steve actually will sway to his left, and then for 4 he'll sway to his right. These are actually called weaves, and then 3 would be a left weave, and 4 would be a right weave. And let's talk about the weaves in general. For the first one, the left weave does have a couple moves from it. Okay, the first one I'll talk about is 3-2-1. 3-2-1. So 3-2 is his shoulder tap. So whenever he's swaying left and then he does a right punch, he will do a shoulder tap. And whenever he's swaying right and then doing a left punch, he'll do a shoulder tap. So whichever direction he's going in, he'll do a shoulder tap, depending on which button you press. And the follow-up to 3-2 is 1. And then this is a bind move, and on counter hit, it is a natural combo. It does pretty good damage on counter hit. We'll try to show that here. 3-2-1, and it'll do 43 damage, pretty good. And I believe you could hit confirm it as well. You could delay it a whole lot. Yeah, and it'll still combo.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then the thing about 3-2 is that this is a new transition they gave him, is into Peekaboo by holding forward. But we'll get right to Peekaboo in a sec. 3-2 goes into a stance, and 3-1. And 3-1-1 and 3-1-4-1-1. So okay, now let's talk about his 3-1 series. 3-1 by itself on counter hit gives a gut stun. On regular hit doesn't really do anything. Yeah, just hits him. This move does have three follow-ups actually. 3-1-1, which gives a knockdown. This move is really good because let's say Steve uses a sidestep left and then uses 3, and then gets to his character's side like this, and it does 3-1-1. It's a natural combo. And then in certain cases with the wall to to Steve's right side, it will push him to the wall right. Yeah, see like right there, natural combo, and he also does have 3-1 forward 1-1. There used to be a just frame, but they took out the just frame to 3-1-1 series. The just frame before was 3-1, and then you tap 1 right away, and then it used to give Steve a damage boost, but then that was taken out in this version of Tekken.
Good.
I believe it was in the version right before this one too, and it's always been there, but Namco, alright man.
They like to take away good things, man, like auto parry.
Yeah. And then the last transition would be his 3-1 and then back into his flicker stance. Generally, Steve, keep this in mind. Anytime Steve does a left punch, a lot of moves do leave him in flicker stance.
Interesting.
Only moves that leave him with left punch.
Okay.
Down for 1-2-1, all goes into flicker. But we'll get into that a little bit. It is high, but the last hit can also get into flicker. But the flicker safety makes it extra safe. It's really hard to punish. Yeah, like if you want to get like a hop kick or something, it's pretty much not gonna happen. And then also on the last hit, on counter hit, it does give a stun that you can combo off of. And then you can get a full combo after that as well. Whatever. And then also the thing is, 3-1-1 on counter hit is not a natural combo. The first hit does give a stun. If you don't break it, it will hit obviously. But if he doesn't break it, I could get bigger stuff like duck 2, or go for something safer, wait till he drops and go for a duck 1, and then get a float combo after that. Stuff like that. And then also, but the thing is, 3-forward-1-1 is a natural combo on counter hit, unlike 3-1-1. 3-1-1, you could break the stun and still block the second hit.
Ah.
Yeah, it was never a natural combo on counter hit. It's just people that never broke the stun.
Right.
Yeah, so
I don't think a lot of people know that.
Yeah, keep in mind that you can break that stun, and the only thing natural is the forward 1-1. Alright, so let's go to his 4 series, his right weave. Like his left weave, he has the shoulder tab. This one can also go into Peekaboo Stance by holding forward, and then he does have a forward 4-1-2, which is a shoulder tap to launcher. On counter hit, it does give a full launch, and then he gets a full combo after that. And the thing that's so great about 4-1-2 is that the 4, generally Steve players will use 4 for weaving. Ever since like back then, Steve players always use 4 instead of 3, just because if they sidestep right and then you see how he dips his head in instead of expose his shoulder like on the other side, it just evades more evasively. So 4-1-2 on counter hit is a NCC, and the hit confirm is pretty like you could wait a while for it to still be a combo.
Wow. I didn't realize it was that big of a window.
And then his second move from his 4 series is his 4-2. 4-2 is pretty good since it's really evasive, and it also gives a knockdown, and does pretty good damage, 26 damage. And on a wall stage, you could get like a big wall combo from it. But keep in mind, this move is -15, so it's not safe by any means. Pretty bad on block, but just keep in mind it's really good like if you want to keep the pressure off of you, and on counter hit it does make them roll back, so you can go for some Oki options. And and just keep in mind for his weaves, you can transition into duck or sway by pressing forward or back after it. So there's a lot of transitions. Forward will get you into duck, and then back will get you into sway. Alright, so next thing we'll talk about, I guess we'll talk about sway and duck. Alright, so sway, this is a true high crush. It will like whatever they do, it will always avoid highs no matter what. Duck is kind of the same way, but not really. Duck, in the first part to the middle of the animation, it does high crush. In the last bits, it won't high crush. Like you can get countered forward, like even jabbed or whatever. Okay. So keep in mind that like duck is only high crushing at the beginning of the frames. And sway, he has sway 1 and sway 2. Sway 2 will pretty much only hit unless they're like a really big character or they stuck a move into the, extended their hitbox into Steve, basically. And then he does get a full combo off of it, even on normal hit. So
I used to use that against electrics.
Yeah, it's risky because if you do this, like any mid or low can hit you. Yeah, so it's only a high crush. So, and then the good thing about this is mostly at the wall, just so you could do a 1+2. Now this is his wall push, and you could choose any 4 directions you like: forward, back, up, or down. Up or down will get you to his left or his right side. And with this, on the wall on a wall stage, Steve can get guaranteed damage. We probably should show a wall stage.
That's okay. We can show that later in useful moves.
Yeah. So that will But keep in mind, the break for this move is now 1+2 all the time. Before it used to be, for the forward push, it used to be a 1 break. But now they just made it very simple. It's just 1+2.
1+2.
No matter which way they push them. And the 181 is also a 1+2. Every single version is a 1+2 now. Alright, so let's move on to his duck positions. Okay, so generally he has a couple options he could do from duck. The main 3 are duck 1, duck 2, and duck forward 2. Alright, so now let's move on from that. Duck 1, on normal hit, it just gives a knockdown, and he gets a dash down 1+2 guaranteed. Or if they try to stand up, or he gets duck 1 into a combo. Or stuff like duck 1, forward 2-1, or duck 1, whatever you want basically. You can float if they try to get up from it. So duck 1, in the open, it just makes them knock down like that, but the whole time the character's sliding back right there, they can get wall splatted from that animation. So keep that in mind. On the wall, it does wall splat, and it is safe on block. I believe it's really small, like on the numbers. It's only like -4 or 5. It's not too bad. The next move would be his duck 2. Like we talked about earlier, duck 2 doesn't high crush at the later frames. Though at the earlier frames it does crush. And it gives a full launcher, but keep in mind that it is -14 on block, so it can get punished. Yeah, so -14, but it does give some pushback, so like a lot of characters can't get jabs on it. Yeah, so keep in mind it does give some slight pushback. And stuff like Brian's not taunt jet upper, but Brian's regular jet upper will not hit this move because of how it pushes back.
Jet upper's got pretty small range in general.
Yeah, but this definitely for sure is not going to hit.
Okay.
Yeah. And keep in mind, like I said, it doesn't high crush in the later frames, so you can get thrown out of it. Yeah. It's pretty annoying, but it's there. And then the next option would be his duck forward 2. Duck forward 2 is pretty good. On counter hit, it gives a combo. On normal hit, it just gives a guaranteed hit. It looks just like, the knockdown from down back 3-2 from Steve. And then with it, he'll get a Albatross down 2. But the interesting about duck forward 2 is it lets him transition into any of the weaves that Steve has. Like 3, duck, and then hold back for sway, 3, and then oops. Yeah, he can pretty much do whatever he wants after a duck forward 2. He can transition freely into any of the weaves, or sways, or the duck.
Not flicker though.
Not flicker or not peekaboo, just generally weaves, sway, and duck, they all kind of transition into each other.
Okay.
Like if I just hold the button and I just push directions and stuff, I could just go crazy. Yeah, like Steve doesn't know what's going on right now. Yeah, so there we go. That's pretty much about it for the weaves and ducks. The interesting thing about Steve is that a lot of his combos do require duct canceling, and a lot of people on the forums ask questions all the time. How do you duct cancel? How do you duct cancel? It's really easy, guys. It's just down back. Alright, so just do forward 3 or forward 4. They both give you duck, and sway as well. Back 3 and back 4, they both give you a sway. But forward 3, down back will cancel his duck, and then it will leave him in crouch. So this is where you can do while standing 1-2 combos. Okay, so basically a lot of people ask about how to do a duck cancel. So you want to do, when you're in full crouch, you could still do forward 3 and still get a duck. And then, you want to do it down back as soon as the duck is over. So this is how you basically do like forward 2-1 duck while standing 1-2 combos like that. You just kind of have to practice it, and then you do forward 3, forward 2-1, and then flicker, and then go into duck, and then do down back, then do while standing 1-2, and then you get a combo.
Can you just show the forward 3 into the duck cancel?
So forward 3, if you want to do a wave dash with Steve with his duck canceling, you basically just do forward 3, down back, forward 3, down back, repeatedly. So
the way I do it is instead of going to forward, I just stay down forward.
yeah, you can also use down forward as well. Like it depends on like what side I am. Like I actually use both methods. Like yeah, this one I definitely use forward. On 1P I use more of a down forward instead. Both of them will grant you the duck cancel. So the best way you can find out if you're doing duck cancels properly and fast is do duck cancel and then just mash on down back 1 to see what's the timing for it. Practice your while standing 1-2 combo like that. And a lot of moves to make Steve safe, you have to duck cancel. Like down 2-1, for example. Down 2-1 is minus 11 on block. Let's just put Al on controller here. And The down 2-1 by itself is jab punishable. Generally, you want to duck cancel it so you can make it safe, so you don't have to risk free damage. To do that, certain moves in this game certain moves for Steve are cancelable with ducks and stuff, so you can generally make them a little bit safer that way. And also with duck, when you're doing this, if you do, like, let's say they're trying to hit you with a mid near the end of your duck cancel animation, they can't hit you, you can auto block basically. Yeah, so it's really fast. The only way they can hit you is during the beginning part of the animation, which is pretty much the only way to hit him. So like down 2-1 for example, it's jab punishable, but if you do a duck cancel, he can't punish you. Yeah, you get up and block him the right time. And he can't even do a down jab to try to punish you in between. Yeah. You cancel and you can probably low parry. So if you're fast enough with your cancels, you could get really creative with Steve, and a lot of things lead into ducks and stuff. So it's really important.
All right, so let's carry on with the stances. We switched stage, so you guys got a wall. What's next?
All right, so after duck, we just covered duck. So the next thing we would do is 3+4. 3+4 is his albatross. It's not really like a traditional stance. He only does one spin and then he just stops. He has a couple options. The first one would be albatross 2. It's safe on block. It wall splats. It does give a full combo on the wall. It's not a bad move. It's pretty much one of his stronger combo enders as well, and I'll show how you do that in the combo ender. The next option would be albatross down 2. Albatross down 2, it gives a new knockdown animation where they flop over a back turn like that, and it does give a free down 1+2 on hit. So keep that in mind. It's not a bad option. So. But keep in mind that albatross down 2 is -15 on block, so he can get punished for it. Yeah, so it's easily launch punishables, just keep that in mind. And then the next option for albatross would be direct his albatross into Peekaboo. If you do albatross and hold forward, he ends up right into Peekaboo. And it's pretty good. Like, let's say I do a Sonic Fang and then Wang Tech Rose either side, and then I could just do albatross and then end up in Peekaboo, and then like apply mix ups right after, and go into like throw pretty much whatever I want. And then the one after that would be albatross and then up or down. Albatross generally like default albatross spins to his left, but you could add another spin after that. Albatross and you hold up and then he'll spin left twice.
Is there a name for that?
They just call it double albatross. And then albatross down, he'll spin left first, and if you hold down, he'll spin to the right. This is pretty useful in like Oki situations. Like let's say Wang tries to avoid this because I hit down back 3-2 too far, and then I can do double spin, like just side roll on the ground, and then like, whoops. Yeah. Side roll down, like trying to avoid the down back. Yeah. So like generally Steve can do like double spin and then hit him low, and then keep in mind that the double spin albatross, unlike his albatross 2, you got to do albatross 1 when you do a double spin.
Because the hand's coming down with the other hand.
Yeah, both sides. But keep in mind though, like unlike albatross 2, which is safe, it's not jab punishable. We'll show him trying to jab it right now. Yeah, it is safe on block, and then the double spin albatross though is not safe. It's -11 on block. And then the low was -15 though for the single spin, but the low for the double spin one is only -12. Yeah, so it's not a bad option if you can set it up. If you have enough room, and then to get a double spin on them.
Right, to bring in the distance, close the distance.
Yeah, so that is an option. And like albatross as well, you can do double albatross and then end up in Peekaboo as well by holding forward. Alright, so the next stance after that would be his back 3+4 and forward 3+4 stances. Previously, Steve's flicker stance used to be back 1+2, but it has been changed in this version, I believe, to back 3+4. And then that now gives him a flicker stance. From this stance, he has a couple options. He has this flicker 1 series, which he could do 3 times. And he has extensions from his Flicker 1 series. Flicker 1 down 1, or Flicker 1 up 1, they both get the same move. And Flicker 1 forward 1, or Flicker 1 1 forward 1, or Flicker 1 1
You
down
could delay
one.
up and forward. Both.
Yeah. Yeah. And also on counter hit, this is still a natural combo. This never used to be a true natural combo. People just got hit by it because they weren't blocking in time. It's the same as 3-1-1. But now it is a true natural combo, and it does guarantee a full combo afterwards with 4-4-2. So, and same with Flicker 1 forward 1, it's also a natural combo. Or Flicker 1-1 is also a natural combo, and Flicker 1 Albatross 2. Yeah.
Flicker 1 Albatross 2 is a natural combo?
Yeah.
Only on counter?
Yep. But now a lot of people have a lot of questions on the forums, like how exactly do you do Flicker 1 into Albatross 2 so quickly? If you do Flicker 1 and then just try to press 3+4, nothing happens until like way later. See how late that Albatross spin is? If you hold, you have to be holding back the entire time to go from Flicker, because when you do a Flicker 1 and you keep holding back, you end up in Flicker. If you do Flicker 1 and then don't hold back, you don't go into Flicker. So you have to stay in Flicker to get the Albatross. Previous versions though, Flicker into Albatross, you never had to do a Flicker 1. You could just go directly into Albatross afterward, but this is a new change from the DR series and onward for Steve.
Interesting. I actually was trying that last night. I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, you have to hold back the entire time. So he stays in Flicker, and then the only way to cancel it is by still holding back. And then you just press 3+4. Also, like his weaves and sways and his duck, Flicker can transition into any of those as well. Oh, and speaking of which, I never actually talked about extended duck. If Steve does forward 3 or forward 4, he does have an extended version to it. It's not a just frame like everybody thinks. If he holds forward and 3 or 4, he has to be holding the button the entire time. Steve will do an extra little duck in like that. And then if he does that, he gets blue sparks after those 3 moves. Duck 1, Duck 2, and Duck forward 2. And then they all have different properties. Duck 1, extended Duck 1 gives a full launch. Extended Duck 2 launches them really high. And extended Duck forward 2 is a natural hit launcher now.
So basically it turns them into a counter hit except Duck 2.
Yeah, and they all do extra damage, and they all have different frames on block as well. Extended Duck 2 is minus 10. Yeah, minus 10 on block, so...
Oh. So it's probably safe against all characters.
Yeah, it's pretty much safe against every character. Block it. Yeah. And you can set it up like...
Right.
Like extended Duck 2, and then set it up for like a Shoryu, because a lot of people try to jab punish it. Extended Duck 1 as well is it's 0 on block actually. So a lot of people that try to like retaliate with like a hot kick or something, Steve just does a back 1 and they just die. Yeah, so you can't really attack back. They're both at 0, so back 1 is 13 frames, so they'll die if they try to do anything slower than 13. So back to the Flicker stances. Flicker 1-1 forward 1 and Flicker 1 down 1. They're natural combos. Flicker 1-2 is also a natural combo. Gives free down back 2, and he does have triple flickers. Flicker 1-1-1-2, 1-1-1-1-2, all that stuff as well. Okay, now let's move on to his new stance, his Peekaboo Stance. Generally, if you want to transition into this, and also if you want to transition into Flicker off for most moves, it's going to be holding back, like down 4-1-2-1 back, or back 1 back. Anything that Flicker is back, and Peekaboo is forward. That's the easy way to remember it.
It's also back T+4 for Flicker, forward T+4 for Peekaboo.
Yes. The weird thing about Flicker is that it acts differently from like the way you could cancel it is down back generally, but if you do the manual one, you could cancel it by pressing any direction, basically, any down or forward direction. Like you can't do that with the other transitioning flickers. You can't hold forward and then you can't cancel it. The only way to cancel it is by holding it down back and letting go. Same thing with Peekaboo. Peekaboo is forward 3+4. You could cancel it by doing another Peekaboo right away, forward 3+4, forward 3+4, or forward 3+4 and then down back to cancel. Like I said, 2-1 back Flicker, 2-1 forward is Peekaboo, and let's talk about some Peekaboo moves. He has Peekaboo 1-2-1, The first 2 is natural combo, and it is 12 frames to start up. So like let's say 2-1 forward, he's +2, and then they try to retaliate 2-1, 1-2. I mean, Peekaboo 1-2 will beat pretty much any option.
And we didn't mention earlier, but 2-1 is his 12 frame Punisher.
Yes, 2-1 is his 12 frame Punisher. We didn't mention it, but it's not bad if you want to go right into it and then lead into his Peekaboo Stance to go for his mix-ups. Okay, so other Peekaboo moves he has is Peekaboo 1-2-1. It is also a bind move. We'll get to that in a little bit. Peekaboo down 1 is his low. It does 14 damage. It's minus 11 or 12 on block, so it's not launch punishable by any means. It's a really good low. It also does hit grounded, so let's just go ahead and grounded real quick. It does hit grounded reliably, so it's a really good option for that as well. He has Peekaboo down forward 1-1, and his down forward 1-1 2-1 series. This is a pretty interesting string because if you hit the second hit on counter hit, the rest is all guaranteed, and then he gets a free down back 2 on hit. And he also has Peekaboo down forward 1-2. It's really long delay, and it's a really long hit confirm. If it hits, he gets a big combo on the wall. Like it's, he gets a full bind combo and all that. Peekaboo down forward 1-2 anywhere else, you could just do down back 2 and it's still guaranteed. Next one is Peekaboo 2. It is his homing move. Peekaboo 2 is his homing move from Peekaboo Stance.
Is there a streak there?
Yeah, it's a streak. Yeah. Very tiny, but it's there. It's one of the changes for
I'll
Steve.
believe you.
And then
I'm
he
not
has
seeing it.
Peekaboo forward 2. This does high crush, but it is minus 13 on block. But in pretty much all cases, it's gonna it's gonna give you a pretty good pushback unless their back is at the wall, which you pretty much wouldn't use this move at anyways. And also, this move does not wall splat. It just has them flip like that, and it never wall splats.
Interesting.
Yeah. Also, he has Peekaboo back 2, his backswing blow. It is minus 14 on block, but you could like kind of set it up with like Peekaboo 1-1-2. Oh yeah, that's the other thing about Peekaboo 1-1 series as well, and 1-1-2. They all leave them in Peekaboo Stance afterward, and 1-2 as well.
So you don't have to hold anything special, or he just leaves you in there.
Yeah, and same with down 1, they all leave them in Peekaboo Stance. Same with 2 and
Forward 2?
yeah, forward 2 as well. Yeah, and if you want to cancel a Peekaboo Stance into Albatross, you could just press 3+4. Alright, so and then he has his elbow launcher. This is probably one of his better moves from Peekaboo Stance. Peekaboo down forward 2 is also leaves him in Peekaboo afterwards, and it's only minus 10 on block, so it's really good when you're trying to use it as a mix-up tool with down back 3-2 up close.
How fast is that?
It's 16 frames without inputting Peekaboo, so
So maybe 18?
it's going to be 17 frames if you do it perfectly. So it's not a bad move. And it does launch crouchers, unlike generic down forward 2s.
That move is really good, I think.
Yeah, it's one of his better moves for sure. And then after that, Steve has 2 more moves from Peekaboo, which is Peekaboo up forward 2 and down 2. Peekaboo down 2, you can get a small combo after it if you do a 4-4-2 right in time. It does bind and it does give a combo. And it's kind of bad on block, and it is really slow. But keep in mind that it does hit grounded, but it's just kind of a risky move. But sometimes you just have to do crazy things to see.
Why? He's so safe.
You gotta go crazy sometimes. And then his last move is his Peekaboo up forward 2. The thing about up forward 2 is that you could do up 2 or up back 2. Oh wait, no, just up and up forward 2. Yeah, up and up forward 2. They both give you his Shoryuken basically. Can we say that on this show? Shoryuken.
They both give him electric wind god fists.
Yeah,
Thunder
they-
god fists.
Yeah, they both
got
give.
Thunder God
Yeah, this Shoryuken. It's pretty good. It's kind of like a Lars equivalent of forward 3 because it high crushes. Like let's say I do a 1 and then like I showed already. Let's say he tries to punish that. I could just set up for like a Shoryuken right after that. He tries to jab me.
Or if you're nin, you can just do it in the beginning for a round once in a while.
Yeah, I mean like let's say like I do flicker 1 down 1 and set it up for like a Shoryuken like that. I'll do like a 1-2 and then yeah. So it cleanly crushes highs if you time it correctly. And
Crushes some mids too.
it crushes some mids and it definitely crushes low. I'll do a 1. Yeah, cleanly crushes lows, so it's like almost like a true Shoryuken. It's almost invincible to every move. Yeah, that's pretty much about it.
Oh,
And
actually, you're missing the Lancaster combo.
I'm missing a couple things actually that I
Oh.
remember.
Go ahead.
So he has his infamous 10-frame throw from his Peekaboo, which is his 10 count. Really good throw, 45 damage, gives decent Oki. It's not a bad throw. It's also really fast. Oh yeah, and forward 1+2. This move is useless. Don't even.
Are you
bother.
sure?
It's useless.
What's to do on hit?
Nothing. Like 5.
Hit and
damage.
block is the same thing? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, and then it doesn't wall splat on counter hit. It doesn't do anything. Whatever. Waste of a move. And then he has Peekaboo back 1-1-2-1, and then this move can also end up in Peekaboo as well. It's almost just like Peekaboo down forward 1-1-2-1 in the sense that if you get counter hit by the second hit, it's all natural. Yeah, it's all natural, 53 damage.
The main difference between those two is that this one second hit is high.
This one second is high, and then the first two is natural though. Yeah. Okay, Wang.
Turn off counter hit.
It's the same.
Oh, it is win. There you go.
Wang is tight.
Alright, so, it is natural combo, but the second hit is duckable. And then, you have that as well, so. That's pretty much about it for Peekaboo Stance, but he does have one last useless thing that's kind of cool. It's Peekaboo and then down forward 3+4. Then he starts going into a Dempsey roll. It's the only way to get into Dempsey roll now. It used to be 4 and then 3 and then hold 4 or something complicated like that. Now it's like forward 3+4, down forward 3+4. Then just hold forward if you want to keep weaving, and then just do 1-2-1-2 basically.
What's the actual name of that? Do you know?
Dempsey roll.
It's not Dempsey roll, is it?
Well,
Isn't it like Cobra Strikes or something?
It's
Did I
hella,
just make that up?
For this game?
Yeah.
it's hella not heterosexual, so we're not gonna say that. So, and one cool thing about Steve, like it could save you in certain situations. Like let's do Wang 2 forward.
Oh,
The backspin thing. Yeah.
2 back.
Whenever Steve is back turn, he can continue to do albatross spin, and he'll go in the opposite direction. And then this thing can save you from certain things, like whatever he wants. And then if he goes into back turn like this and he spins away, you can still go into Peekaboo Stance back turn and then start doing moves in the other direction.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, tricky.
Yeah, and there's also a glitch. Keep in mind, I'll show you a glitch right now. I'm gonna do Sonic Fang, and then I have the computer tech from. Oh yeah. Yeah, there we go.
And then you can just play with them with Albatross spinning away.
No, basically this just screws Steve. Up
There's
the
nothing
A.
you can do?
Yeah.
You can't go the other way? Oh, I see.
It takes a long time, and then it only happens when your opponent techs to their right, as soon as he does if he's too close, and he does albatross and then goes into Peekaboo right away, it makes Steve end up in back turn. It's really weird, but it's gonna screw Steve.
Cool. So that's about all for his dances?
I believe so. I think that's about it.
All right. Well,
wait.
Go
one
ahead.
last thing. Yeah, like I said, a lot of moves do transition into his stances, so a lot of them are gonna require you to do flicker cancels and, well, not flicker cancels, but duct cancels. Going into flicker after a certain move just to get the combo to come out. Let's say this combo right here, flicker 1, let go. It's really complicated. And then you do duct cancel. There's a lot of canceling and a lot of stances to remember, but just remember some simple things. Back is flicker, forward is Peekaboo, down back to pretty much cancel everything. That's pretty much about it.
Sweet. All right. So while we're on the stage, though, let's just cover home move and bind move really quick.
Okay.
Because that's pretty simple, right? He doesn't have 10 of each. These unexpected stances.
He has a lot of bind moves.
Does he really?
Yeah.
He probably has the most.
We'll come back to bind moves. We'll switch the stage.
He
We'll
has
come
the
back.
most bind moves.
We'll go to bind moves next. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and cover some of Steve's bind moves.
Alright, so let's start off with Steve's bind moves that don't start from a stance. His main one is going to be forward 4-2. you know, beatdown. Everybody loves a beatdown. So
Let me give you one, dude.
the
love it.
really good thing about his forward 4-2 now is that they changed his hitbox, so it's pretty much going to be hitting after a lot of things. So this is going to be pretty much your main bind move. But keep in mind the recovery off of it is kind of bad. So like in combos, like for harder ones, it's the most damaging option, but it is going to be one of the harder combos to pull off with 4-4-2. Next one would be his running 2. Let's try to show it at the wall. Yeah, his running 2 also binds. I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and his while standing 1-2 is his non-stance bind move as well. Like while standing 1-2. So basically for Steve, his two really good bind moves he's gonna use the most is forward 4-2 and while standing 1-2. After that, it's probably some of his stance combos like 3-2-1, also wall splats. 3-2-1 also binds. Yeah, 3-2-1 also binds. Flicker 1-1 forward 1 or flicker 1 forward 1. Flicker 1 forward 1 series. The second hit bind, the last hit bind.
Sway back 1.
Yeah, sway back 1 and flicker 2 also binds as well. Flicker 2. Oh yeah, and one more thing. Also down 2 neutral 1-2. That move is also a bind move. I'll show you a little funny thing. Oh.
Show the sway back 1.
And sway back 1 also binds. Sway back 1 is also one of the most damaging bind moves as well. 31 damage by itself, but forward 4-2 is definitely going to be the main thing. He also does have Peekaboo 1-2-1. The last hit binds.
You could do Peekaboo down forward 1-1-2-1.
Oh yeah, the last hit of Peekaboo down forward 1-1-2-1 also does bind. But generally, you're not really going to use that bind move because it does scale the combo a lot because it has to do 3 hits before that, and then those 3 hits aren't even that powerful.
What do you do as an ender after that, even?
Just something simple like forward 2-1 back.
It's not bad.
Yeah, but
Sounds like a good online combo.
generally you're just going to be doing like combos that could lead into a forward 4-2.
4-4-2 at the end, right?
That's going to be your main bet. I feel like I'm missing a couple, but really you don't really have to worry about it. That's
Oh,
about
we
it.
have enough of that.
What else am I missing? There's a lot. Steve probably has the most.
I think you got them all.
No, I actually got them all. I'm pretty proud of myself. That's a lot of bind moves, but
All right, let's go ahead and talk about Steve's homing moves.
alright, Steve's homing move, this is going to be really fast, just pay attention. Down forward 2, comes out at 16 frames. It is, what is it on block? It's -9 on block, so you can't really move anywhere. Like sidestep wise, you can't really create you can't even sidestep a jab or anything. You're going to be stuck in place. But it's really good because the range, and on counter hit, it does give a combo. It's not 15 frames like it used to be, but on counter hit, it does give something pretty beefy. So it's a pretty good option.
It's a lot easier in
This game, since they upgraded his 4-4-2 hitbox. Like this right here would have not been possible unless 4-4-2 hitbox was improved, which it is in this game, which is gone in Tekken Tag 2.
Yes.
What else does he have? I think that's about it.
Tab 2.
Peekaboo 2.
Peekaboo 2 and down forward 2. Both of them give a full combo. Peekaboo 2 stuns just like his back 1, so it's really good. And Peekaboo 2, there is one interesting thing about it. Yeah, there we go.
Wait, it's a Sabaki?
It does have a Sabaki parry built in.
That was his old back 2.
Yeah, that used to be his old back 2. Yeah, and that also does give you something guaranteed if it counters. And you can get down back 3 or down 1+2. And that's pretty much about it. Both of his homing moves give counter hit combos.
Alrighty. So we've covered his punchers, stancers, and homing moves and bind moves. Let's go ahead and talk about his useful moves, even though we've already covered about half of them.
Alright.
Useful moves. Alrighty, so unlike some of our other characters that we've done, Steve is actually a little bit simpler when it comes to useful moves. If you simplify it, I mean, his combos are difficult, but
I don't know if he's simple.
he's a simple character.
You can
I mean, that's why he's been
simplify
top tier for so long, though, right?
Not because he's
Easy to
simple.
use.
No, he's
Go on.
It's definitely not easy
not
to use.
easy to use.
Alright, go ahead.
He's not easy to use, but he can be very frustrating for a lot of players. The good thing about Steve is that he does have really good counter hit tools. So let me just go over some of them right now. You'll notice a lot of Steve players will be doing back one. Back one is the go-to move. Like, yeah, back one. I have no idea why I did that. But,
Go ahead.
yeah, it's really good. Back one by itself is not safe, so keep that in mind. It used to be minus 14, and I believe it's still the same. You should be able to get jet up right after it. Yeah, it's really bad.
What?
Yeah.
Yo, he's not that easy to use anymore.
Yeah. So back one by itself.
Nobody does back one by itself.
Yeah, everyone flickers out of it, right?
Back one by itself is minus 14 on block. So what you want to do is back one and then go into flicker. But keep in mind that once he goes into flicker, he's kind of stuck there. He can't freely sidestep unless he cancels or does something afterward. But the good thing about back one flicker is that remember how I told you guys you could do pretty much duck, weave, sway, all that shenanigans. Is you bait stuff by doing duck into weave into duck. That's a pretty easy transition. You can just do back one, flicker. Like let's say Brian tries to do a down forward 2-1 afterward. I could just avoid it, kill him for it.
That's crazy. Wait, so how do you do the forward sway out of the weave?
After the weave, you just hold the weave. Well, you don't even have to hold it. Once you press the weave, 3 or 4, you just tap forward. Well, actually, you do have to hold it. I lied. Just so you know.
All right, so hold the button and then tap forward.
Hold 4 and hold 3. If you hold it after he does it, he doesn't do anything. So just hold it and then
Okay.
Then you could go into his duck moves. This transition used to be really fast, but they slowed it down because he obviously was too good.
Right. It's still pretty good.
It's still good, but you can't use it as much as you could in the previous games. But it's still a good option. Like I said, when you cancel and down back, you're going to be in full crouch. So, like let's say they try to retaliate with jab, you can just or anything. You could kind of just risk it with while standing 1+2, or let's say if Brian tries to do a down forward 1 after my back 1. Brian's down forward 1 is 15 frames, so it's kind of slower than usual down forward 1s. But if they try to do that, Steve's in flicker, and then flicker 1 down 1 is natural. So you try to do that, get a full counter hit combo. He has a counter hit on a counter hit on a counter hit. So all right, so keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind.
He's a counter hit character basically, and if you want to get damage with him, you're going to have to either get up close to do mix-ups or keep him out and get counter hits that way. The next move I want to talk about is his down forward 2. Back 1 and down forward 2 is pretty much Steve. The good thing about down forward 2 is that it's a homing move, it's mid, has a good hitbox, and it gives a pretty beefy juggle on counter hit with the follow-up with forward forward 2. On the wall, he actually doesn't have to do forward forward 2. He could just do down forward 2, forward 2, 1, while standing 1, 2 right away.
And down forward 2 as a homing move is one of the faster ones in the game, right? I mean, it's not as fast as Lars' back one, obviously, but it's relatively fast, right?
Yeah,
for a homing move?
Jin has the fastest homing move with standing 4. His is 13 frames. After that will be Dragon off back 3. Then Lars at 15 with back 1, and Steve 16 down forward 2.
And Steve gets a counter juggle off of his.
Oh, Jin does too, and he has the fastest
Yeah,
one.
but Jin sucks overall.
What happened to
I'm
that?
kidding. Relax,
Also,
dude.
Jin's is high.
Yeah, but
Jin is great
Jin is a pretty
at SPO.
decent character. But yeah, so down forward 2 is his counter hit mid. The thing about Steve is that since back 1 is high, it's 13 frames though. Flicker does have some safety to it though. If you cancel into flicker, obviously back 1 isn't minus 14 anymore, so it's really hard to launch it as well. So a lot of characters would just have to commit to a high crush as well. But yeah, back 1 really good, and then after that will probably be back 2. The good thing about this is that it does high crush jabs, not like counter hit 4s or anything, but some like smaller hitbox highs, it will high crush it. And then on counter hit like his down forward 2, it does give a combo, which is gone in tag 2. Flicker 1 down 1 is really good just because it's safe. It's not even just safe, it's 0 on block. So like let's say I do back 1, he blocks it, and I do that. I could kind of set up for other moves like duck, weaved and duck 2 after that, stuff like that as well. Another really good move for Steve is quarter circle forward 1. This move is ridiculously good because quarter circle forward 1, you would think that it wouldn't wall splat from like a mile away, but it doesn't matter. Like he could wall splat you from really far distances and still get a combo like that.
Wow.
He's probably the only character that has a wall splatting move like that. Back.
Jin has that too with electric. from that far away. Oh, Law 2, back 3.
Yeah, but
Yeah, there's a couple moves that do that.
Steve, this is one of his bread and butter moves. Quarter circle forward one's really good because it puts them really far away on hit, and on block it's safe. Just like back one, it does end them in flicker, so you can weave after that. But like again, you're kind of stuck in that position for a little bit.
And so do all moves that leave them in flicker or give them the option of going to flicker, if you go into flicker, does that make it always safe?
Generally, flicker is gonna make a lot of his moves safe that aren't safe generally, and usually. Well, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But yeah, quarter circle forward one really good. Next move I would probably talk about is his down 2-1. This is pretty much Steve's main go-to low poke. It's kind of slower than usual pokes. Like characters have like 12 frame lows with generic down 4s. Like Brian, he could do a down back 4. That's the generic low, and that's 12 frames. But Steve's fastest is 16, and after that is down 2 at 17. The good thing about Steve's down 2-1 is that it's really good as a round ending move because it starts low and then goes mid.
Mid, really fast.
Yeah, and on counter hit, down 2-1 is natural. So they can't do anything about that. Before in the previous game, when that was natural, down 2-1-2, the last hit, you couldn't duck it. But now in this game, you can. But generally, like I said earlier about duck cancels, you want to duck cancel this move to make it safe. Only problem is it does keep Steve up really close. So, and he is at -3 after that.
But in general, Steve likes being close.
Yeah, I would say so, but you wanna stay close with Steve because his weaves become that much more effective at close range. At far range, he not that effective. But at close ranges, he can make it a lot more effective because he gets to their characters' backs and stuff. Next move I probably want to talk about is this 2-1 series. This is a new addition to the Tekken 6 series. 2-1 on block is I don't even know, but 2-1 back. To get into flicker, like I said, flicker usually makes a lot of things safe. But in this case, this move is already safe in general. So 2-1 back leaves him at +4. So,
On block?
on block. 2-1, and then he tries to even jab. I will get a counter hit. Flicker 1. He can't even jab in between.
Pretty good move, man.
And then if he tries to down jab after I transition into it, like just to high crush my flicker 1. I can actually cancel in while standing 1 right away. Yeah, like that. If I do it fast enough, even my cancel into while standing 1 will beat a 10 frame down jab. So, there you go. That transition is really good, and then he could also go into forward. And then forward, instead of being +4 like his flicker transition, 2-1 forward leaves him at +2. But 2-1 forward into Peekaboo gives him more options. Like let's say 2-1, Peekaboo, and then they try to jab me, I could still retaliate with a Peekaboo 1-2, which will beat his jab retaliation. So 2-1 Peekaboo is really good because you have this great low option from Peekaboo down 1, or you can if they want to duck it, they can either down forward 1-2 from Peekaboo, and then that will lead into pretty chunky damage.
Right.
Does Peekaboo down 1 crush highs?
Down 1. Yeah, Peekaboo down 1 is a true high crush, and I believe Peekaboo itself has auto block, so all highs and mids I could actually block
What?
by holding forward. I don't even have to do anything. Yeah, Peekaboo is. If you ever watched the Hajime no Ippo series, this is like supposed to be a defensive stance while trying to get in.
So hold forward while in Peekaboo.
Yeah. Holding.
Because the stance to get into it is forward 3+4.
Yeah,
So you're just holding forward and you 3+4, 3+4, 3+4.
Yeah, if you want to do the little Peekaboo dance, you could just hold forward and you just mash on 3+4. And you can also do a flicker dance. Yeah. To do that, you just do back 3+4 forward, back 3+4 forward, and stuff like that.
Wow.
The good thing about 2-1, I really want to emphasize, is it's really good if you use it off of a regular sidestep. Why is it really good? Because if you get to the side or back, you get a free Peekaboo off forward too. Peekaboo, and then let's say Brian tries to hold back to block that, he's not going to block it. Whoops. It doesn't combo, but he's at such a high frame advantage, they can't even turn around to block Peekaboo off forward 2 in time. You can also do stuff like Peekaboo and then that if you're on the side. But generally you want to do Peekaboo up forward 2, or this next option after that would probably be That's also all guaranteed. Or
Pretty nice. If you can get that far to their side though, without a sway or anything.
yeah. So it's a good idea to stay close with Steve, and also if you ever get to the side or back, you could also do like another good move like we talked about was back one. There is an extension to it, back 1-2-1. This move is what we dubbed it as Steve's junkyard.
Right.
Basically, a lot of characters are going to be having a hard time getting in on Steve while he's doing back one like from far away. So a lot of characters try to come in with a high crush move. But if he does back 1-2 and then he clips you on counter hit with the 1-2 back 1-2-1, if the second hit's counter hit, the last hit is guaranteed. So it does give a full launch.
And the second hit actually has a lot more range than it looks like it does. Because
Yeah.
it comes forward very far.
And also the second hit does hit grounded, so you can use it, in certain OP situations as well.
Right. So if they try to do a get up kick there, you might get a counter hit launcher again.
Yeah, just like that. And if you're at the back as well, it's also all guaranteed into a launcher. Big beefy damage.
And can you delay back 1-2-1?
Yeah, you could delay it all day.
Each hit or just the last hit? Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
So it's just like Junkyard. Law's Junkyard combo.
Okay,
Back
you
to-
could delay the second hit, but you can't delay the third hit.
Okay.
And also the third hit is safe on block, so it's not bad to throw out once in a while. Especially if they're not low parrying it.
Right.
What else is there? Yeah, other than that.
Down back 3-2 maybe?
Oh yeah. So the next thing that makes Steve scary, pretty much you're gonna be having a hard time getting in on Steve with back one and down 4-2s. But let's say Steve gets up close to you. What can Steve do? What makes Steve scary? If his only low is down one and down two, what's the mix up for Steve? Steve's mix up revolves around down back 3-2. This is especially good against the wall because he does get a down back 3-2, down back 3-2, and bye bye. Big
92 damage. Boom.
So down back 3-2, Albatross down 2 is guaranteed, so that's going to warrant him 40 damage if they roll back from the Albatross down 2. But if they roll back, I could catch him with like 4-4-2, get a little combo off of that. Now, what makes the low scary if there's no mid, right? So safe option for Steve to do up close is Flicker 2. It's not bad. These are like kind of like dumbed down versions of down back, or like his launcher. Like the most scary option up close for the mid is his Peekaboo down forward 2.
Right.
So you want to mix it up with down back 3-2s, dash up, and then Albatross down 4-2. Peekaboo down 4-2 really fast in his face. Yeah, the only problem with doing Peekaboo after dashes is that sometimes you'll get an Albatross and then you'll die from doing that. So just make sure you're pressing forward when you're really close to them. Because if you're far away and trying to do that, you'll get an Albatross.
Albatross by itself, single spin is totally launch punishable?
While he's spinning, yeah.
Okay.
There's no auto block, there's no gimmick or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way he can block that. Like his down back 3-2, if you want to stay a little bit safer, because that is launch punishable, and it does, if they block low, you'll automatically duck the high.
Right.
So, it is launch punishable. Even if it whiffs, a good player will be able to duck it on reaction from far away and then kill you for it. So, other options are Peekaboo down 1 for his up close option, and then you can keep kind of pestering them with that. Peekaboo down 1 is +1 on hit. So, you could do Peekaboo down 1, and then they try to attack with jabs. You could counter with the Sabaki Peekaboo 2. Or, you could, if you want to do a safe option, because Peekaboo down 4-2 is -10 on block, you can do you could get up close and do an instant Flicker 2. Pretty hard to see as well. Or you could just do Keep It Real Ghetto and just dash and up forward 2 right away.
Keep it real ghetto.
And yeah, that's pretty much it for his mix-up game. And on the wall, his mix-up game is even safer than that because he has quarter circle forward.
Right.
On the wall, down back 3-2, down back 3-2, a wall splat. If he's to the left of the opponent, that's way
Right.
too far left.
And so, at the wall, though, the mix-up is rocket launcher, course of forward 1.
Yeah, the mix-up on the wall is always going to be quarter circle forward 1 or down back 3-2, or if you want to keep it safe, just keep you down 1.
Okay.
Yeah, what we're gonna do?
Useful moves that
Oh, okay.
flicker back 2 is how it was?
Yeah, Flicker back 2. I don't really use this too much, but like for his whiff department, whiff punishment department, his main tool is Sonic Fang, just because it's really easy.
Right.
It has really good range, And, it's just sometimes you just need damage. Damage is damage. So Sonic Fang is the easiest. The next best option is probably 4-4-2. If they whiff 4-4-2 to medium to large size characters, he gets 2 4-4-2s in a row. But keep in mind, you do have to pause a little bit. You see Brian's head? It doesn't pop up until like a little bit after he gets hit. Down, up.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to wait till it gets up.
Oh.
Yeah. And then still, if you mistime it, they can still side roll it and stuff like that as well. Easiest option to do is just 4-4-2, down back 2.
But what else to say
Which is
about
gone, by the way.
Flicker back 2? You get a free 4-4-2 after it?
Yeah, flicker back 2 as well. That's the new kind of knockdown animation they added in Tekken 6. If they get hit by that, you can get a free 4-4-2, and if you do it correctly, it will combo them. So.
Okay.
But
Wow, is that 54 damage?
Yeah, but keep in mind, this is not a bad whip punisher, but keep in mind, the only thing I don't like about it is that, stay back there. If it hits from far away, 4-4-2 won't hit.
I see.
Can you do Albatross 2 instead?
You can, but it's not that much farther for, it's never going to hit from far away. So from super far away, nothing's guaranteed. So that's why I don't like using that move. But if you're really ballsy, you would whiff punish, which sure you can.
Right.
It's really hard to do. You do have to kind of buffer forward 3+4 while you're moving around in mid-range like this and looking for a whiff. So, it's kind of scary to do. And then if they block it, it is launch punishable. It's I believe it's -16 on block, so Brian will get an easy launch after it. But if you're whiff confirming something like that, Peekaboo is the most damaging option to go for. Otherwise, you just want to keep it simple with Sonic Fang.
Nice.
And that's pretty much about it. Oh, one more really useful move for Steve is his wall pushes. This is what makes Steve a basically, if he gets you with a wall push, he does get guaranteed damage. On normal wall push, like up close like this, he does get a free jab series. So like a 1-2 would be guaranteed. Yeah. It doesn't even have to say combo. Sometimes it'll still be guaranteed. They can't block that. If you space it perfectly, it'll give you a combo on the combo meter, but it's still guaranteed. Yeah, like that. But if they do get hit by the wall push, he gets 3 damage after a wall push, and 1-1-2 does 30, so that's 33 damage, and it leaves him up close, so that's a really good option. Or you could do that wall push 1-2, down back 3-2. They can't mash in between that. They can't mash a jab because you're at too much of a frame advantage. But if opponents try to duck the wall push, he has sway 1 to keep it in place. And if they get hit by that, look how close it leaves, and then it leads into down back 3-2 or closer to 4-1 mix up right away.
Right. I mean, we usually have a separate wall game section, but I mean, we're kind of covering a lot of it already, I think, with down back 3-2, core circle 4-1, wall push. Is there anything else for his wall game that we need to cover?
Okay, another thing I still want to touch up on for the wall pushes. Let's say I do the 180 wall push. My back's to the wall, and then he's coming towards me. If I do a 180 wall push, I always get rocket launcher, guaranteed.
Okay.
After the wall push.
Interesting. So the one where your back is to the wall gives you more advantage because you're flipping completely around?
Yeah. Just because the farther away from the wall, the later the frames the opponent gets hit on the wall, more frames Steve gets.
Okay.
So let's say I hit him with a combo on the wall, he techs, and then he techs to the side, right? I can't just straight wall push him sometimes because they tech too far to the side. So what I would have to do is a side wall push like that. And after a well-spaced side wall push as well, you could also get quarter circle forward one.
Okay.
And a really far straight forward wall.
Yeah. Yeah, let's have Brian tech after this. And I'll show you.
Ah. Okay, so it doesn't have to be the 180 wall push to get the
Yeah,
quarter
you
circle
just
forward
have
one.
to get a good mid-side spacing for it. And you can do it from a straight wall push as well.
It's just
You
more
have to space
difficult.
it. So up close for straight wall pushes, that one I could have got a quarter circle forward one. Yeah. And also, it's not even just quarter circle forward one that's guaranteed. Down back 3 is also guaranteed, but safe option is just quarter circle forward one.
Which one's a faster move?
They both are 16 frames. So.
Okay.
Technically, I believe if you count the inputs for quarter circle forward one, it is 18 frames, but you can kind of just buffer it during the wall push. So.
I see. And down by 3 is just more unsafe because they can duck it if you're
Yeah.
late on it.
Yeah, and this is just safe no matter
Right.
what. So. Yeah, and you know, like we said, down back 3-2, down back 3-2. It always combos generally like that, but like let's say Brian texts to his right, I believe, after this combo. Yeah, generally if it's like that, it leaves. Yeah, and if Brian texts to his left, it'll leave it so that Steve can do down back 3-2, down back 3-2, and it'll wall splat.
Right.
So, you know, generally you don't want to tech left on the wall against Steve, because down back 3-2 will wall splat.
Interesting.
But
Or if you do tech left, duck.
that could be, you know,
Yeah.
mind games after that.
Yeah.
So, you know, that you just have to mess around with that on your own. Also, like, keep in mind, on the wall, his Albatross 2 is, you know, will wall splat. Oh, and another thing on the wall. Nin specialty. Down back 2, down back 2, down back 2, down back 2.
Right, because at the wall you're afraid to duck against Steve because of Corsica forward 1.
Yeah.
Or
And
Albatross
then
2.
and then like players like Nin, if you watch him how he uses down back 2, he'll do it in a range where it's like, okay, Corsica forward 1's still gonna wall splat from here.
Right.
I'm scared. I'm gonna hit him before it hits me. And then generally they're gonna hit like jabs or something.
Mhm.
So it just I don't care what you're doing, man. I'm just gonna sweep your leg. And then if he hits one of those, you'll notice that it'll leave him feet towards, head down.
Right.
If they try to get up from this position,
Mm-hmm.
they get up back turn, so he gets 3 down back 2s in a row.
Nice.
So if he tries to get up straight, he gets up, you know, facing that. You know, wall spot. What are you doing? Why are you getting up? If you eat a down back 2, you're gonna eat another one. So just
Yeah.
stay down.
So best option is to take the second one
You have
and then
to
tech
take the
roll?
second one, yes. You can try to back roll it, which is probably the best way to go about it because you're going to reduce damage a little bit.
I see.
Yeah.
But if you back roll, he can forward 2?
Yeah. You should be able to.
Yeah,
So just take it.
I'll take the tech roll.
Yeah. So you generally just want to take it. Yeah. What else does he have? Wall push, down back 3-2, quarter circle forward 1. You know, duck 1, wall splats as well. Not really important. You know, stuff like that. So
Right.
just keep in mind, quarter circle forward 1, down back 3-2, wall push. It's pretty much Steve's wall game.
Nice. Okay, so I think we covered most of these useful moves and most of his wall game.
Yeah.
That seem about right?
Okay.
All right, let's switch stage up. Let's go ahead and show them some of his command throws. Alrighty, let's talk about Steve's command throws.
All right.
Only a couple.
Steve only has 2.
Good.
Yeah. Other than his regular throws, which everybody has, Steve's 1+2 throw would be, well, I guess he has 3. 4-4 1+2. It's a 1+2 break. Looks really weird on big characters because their arms just float like that on top of Steve. It's a 1+2 break. Yeah, they just jump off. You know, nothing special. But and then the next command throw he would have, generally not used very often, but it's his quarter circle back 2+4. Yeah, does 40 damage, gives decent Oki, and why does a boxer have a move like that? I don't understand. But yeah, that's his other command throw, and his he has the wall push that we talked about, which is technically a command throw. And he has his Peekaboo throw. Peekaboo 1+2.
Coolest throw in the game.
Yeah, really sick throw. 10 count. Okay.
What was that?
That was my watch.
Okay.
Yeah, Peekaboo 1+2. It's a really fast throw. It's 10 frames, but it does come out in Peekaboo. You could technically do it by holding any of the. You could do like Peekaboo down 1+2, Peekaboo up 1+2. Or, you know, just do Peekaboo 1+2. Keep it simple. That's about it.
Alrighty, that was good. Let's go ahead then and let's talk about his ground Okazami after his regular throws.
Okay. His one throw generally doesn't have very much Oki. You can't, like, it leaves them really far away. But if they get up, you know, I could go for like a running 2 mix up or something. If they get up in place, I mean. Like, I could do like a running 2, you know, just to keep them.
Keep the pressure on.
Yeah, just keep pressure on. But keep in mind, they probably, you know, it's not the best thing to do against good players because they could just step it. Kuma's kind of fat, but.
Right.
You know, generally in the open, he doesn't get very much Oki. Against with my back on the wall, this throw would be a lot better if the break. Let's try to have Kuma break it. Yeah, and you notice when he breaks it, Kuma just backs away. It doesn't flip stances like certain other characters'
Right.
throws. but if it does connect, it does switch side.
Okay.
So if it switches side, and then if my Steve's back against the wall and he lands a 1 throw, he does get a guaranteed down 1+2. Yeah, generally like that. If they get up, they would, it's kind of like an option select. Down 1+2 will come out as a down 1, and then it'll just hit them back
Okay.
turn, and it's guaranteed either way. His 2 throw, though, is the one that generally gives the best Oki, because it leaves them really close. If they get up back turn, down back 3-2 will hit connect on their back. Yeah, down back 3 connects on their back, and then, you can just follow the down back, down back 3-2 will connect. If they stay grounded, down back 3 will also connect, but they can back roll from it. So, just have to chase them if they back roll.
And what do you get if they back roll?
I believe you could get stage junkyard.
Oh, and it flips them around too after the down forward
Yep.
1-2. Nice.
Yeah, you could do that, or you could probably do 2-1. Yeah, 2-1's kind of less range, so it's not really too reliable. If you want to keep it simple, you could just chase them and do a Sonic Fang.
Okay.
That's pretty much about it. Generally, people like to just side roll. You can side roll down back 3 as well. It is a little hard to do, but you kind of have to rely on the Steve player messing up the down back 3
Okay.
timing. The Oki after 4-4 1+2 throw, it's pretty much hit them grounded with down 1+2, or if you're for sure they're gonna stay down, you could just hit them with a down back 2. But keep in mind that they can easily side roll that. I believe either direction will do. Well, Kuma's kind of fat,
big.
so it's kind of a bad example. But yeah, 4-4 1+2 and then down back 2, they could side roll it pretty easily if you're not a freaking bear. But if they try to back roll, the general Okazami used to be Sonic Fang. It's the easiest option to do, but it barely gets any damage. The best thing you can do is 4-4-2 into a full combo.
Okay.
Or you could chase them again like his 2 throw. The Oki after core circle back 2+4 is exactly the same as 4-4 1+2. So let's just skip over that.
Okay.
The next Oki would be his Peekaboo 1+2 throw.
Right.
If they stay grounded or try to get up back turn, it will hit them back turn with 4-4-2. Okay, so Peekaboo 1+2 throw, the only option for Oki he really has if you're kind of near a wall. If you do the 1+2 from Peekaboo, near the wall you can get a Sonic Fang if they try to get up straight. So if they get a back turn, they get a back turn from the wall after the 10 count. So, that's pretty much about it. If they stay down, you could just dash up and do down 1+2 for the Oki. Just dash up, down 1+2. Yeah, just to keep it simple. That's pretty much about it for his throw Okazami, and that's
Okay. And what about general Okazami? Is there anything that's really good that stands out?
4-2 is not bad. General Okazami is going to come off of this 4-4-2, like stuff like that, like where it leaves him face down in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
The Okazami is if you try to get up, Steve can float you, and if I do a down forward 1, if he tries to get up, I'll float him. Stuff like that. Or
Mhm.
I could do, if they get up later, I could do this little trick that I do is down forward 1, they get up, down jab,
Right.
and that
That
works
works
as well.
really well. Yeah, I tried implementing some of that with Law. It's
Yeah, and then
pretty fun.
you could do down forward 1, down back 1, then while standing 1.
Yeah, exactly.
If they try to get up.
It's like
after.
3 options.
Yeah.
General Oki actually kind of for a lot of characters, right?
Yeah, so like what I like to do with Steve is if I hit 4-4-2, I do down forward 1, down back 1. If I know they're still gonna stay down, why not just do down back 2? Down forward 1, down back 1. Okay, they're not getting up. Hit them. If they try to get up, just while standing 1.
Right.
Same Oki after that from Flicker 2 as well. Flicker 2 on medium-sized characters, if you want to hit the 4-4-2 afterwards, just for a timestamp, you could just do a quick side step right and then 4-4-2. Yeah, stuff like that. And then the good thing about 4-4-2, 4-4-2 is that 4-4-2 is a bind move, so if they try to get up, I get a full combo like that. And, what other Oki does he have? Like we talked about, Duck 1 Oki, Duck 1, Duck 1. Pretty simple, float combo if they try to get up.
Okay.
On the wall, the Oki is pretty much, get in their face, apply the mix-up.
The wall game mix-up that we talked about earlier.
Wall game mix-up, exactly. And the thing about Steve is that his easiest whiff punisher is Sonic Fang, so what can I do after Sonic Fang? If they back roll, I could get a full launcher. Just chase them, 1 dash, duck 2.
Okay.
If you want to be a little safer, you could just do a duck 1. If they tech roll, I could, apply the mix-up game because I get up really close by just doing a dash, or you could just do a single albatross. Don't go into peekaboo so you don't get the glitch
Right.
on accident. Just do albatross and you're in range for down back 3. If he text the other way, text to his left, he'll still be in range for that. And he also has this weird little trick where Steve has his new move. They reanimated his up forward 1, and it makes him jump really far forward. So you can do little tricks like Sonic Fang and then dash up forward 1. Yeah.
Oh, it's weird.
Yeah, let's have him tech the other way, and then Steve will get in the back turn. Or like, it's kind of like, looks like a cross up, or on smaller characters that move will whiff completely, and then Steve was actually technically back turn, and then you could do like a back turn throw mix up.
Interesting.
Stuff like that. Other Okazemi options are like back 1-2-1, trying to bait you to do a get up kick, and then clip you with the 2.
Right.
The 2 by itself does hit grounded, so it's not a bad option. I think that's pretty much about it. A lot of Steve's Oki revolves around like opponents trying to twitch after they get knocked down. So like let's say down back 3-2, they try to reduce the damage. 4-4-2 will catch them, but it is risky. But it's not that risky because all you're really risking against 90% of the cast is like a wake up 4, which does like no damage.
Alrighty. Okay. So you mentioned back 1-2. The second hit is grounded. Let's just try it really quick. Just hammer out his ground hitting moves.
Okay, so basically he has down back 2.
Just stay on the ground.
Any move that looks like down back 2 is going to hit grounded. Albatross down 2, double spin down 1.
Right.
Down 1 plus 2 is his only when the opponent is ground hitting move. If they're not, it comes out as down 1, and that move actually doesn't hit grounded against regular size characters, but Kuma's an exception. Flicker 2 as well only hits big characters like Kuma. Yeah, and 4-4-2 hits pretty much a big amount of the cast on grounded in this position where the head is looking up.
Right.
So you can hit their head when they're like that. Duck One also hits big characters on the ground. If big characters are on the ground like this, down 2-1-1,
What the hell?
you get a bind.
Scorpion?
Scorpion knows. Down back 3 also hits grounded. The big jumping stomp is his most powerful.
Ground hitting move.
Actually, his full crouch down back 2.
Okay.
Most. Down back 2. Pretty much everything hits Kuma grounded, but yeah. Though down 1 plus 2, back 1 2, down back 2, down back 3.
Most common
Peekaboo down
ones.
1, peekaboo down 2.
Peekaboo down 1, peekaboo down 2. Oh yeah, peekaboo down 2 never hits in face down, feet towards position for some reason. It's just how the animation.
Hitboxes or something?
It's just how the characters lie down on the ground.
Right.
Or like anywhere else, they'll hit grounded. Another move that hits grounded is while standing 1 plus 2. On the side, on all characters, this will hit grounded, even small characters. In head down position when their head is towards you, it'll pretty much hit big characters like this. Oh yeah, and the last one I want to talk about is his back 2 that hits grounded. This is very angle specific, but at the wall, let's just have Kuma get hit by a combo. Okay. If I end the combo with while standing 1-2 and it doesn't hit low, back 2 will hit grounded. So. And then in that position, back 2 will hit grounded.
Okay.
So it's not a bad option if they tech and they block low.
Right, because usually in that position it wouldn't hit in the open.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's pretty much all of his ground hitting moves?
Yeah.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and show him some combos, and then we'll come back with item move and unblockable. Alrighty, I guess those were some good combos. Let's show him some item moves and unblockables.
All right, so you see here, he has the Ricky Astley hair. He's never gonna give you up. He's never gonna let you down. He's never gonna turn around and hurt you. That was so good.
That was good.
That was pretty good. But yeah, you
But-
see the Ricky Astley hair. I don't know exactly what it's called, but I believe it's called like 80s rocker hair or something like
50s hairstyle.
that. 50s hair.
50s? Alright.
Way, Namco, they don't know what they're talking about. But basically, to do it, it's just like Brian's taunt. It's 1, 3, and 4, and then he'll give him a little Steve swag shuffle right here. And then it also does have a backstep to it, so you can avoid certain moves.
And there's no moves that come out of it.
Yeah, there's no move that comes out of it. He has to do the whole animation. He can't cancel it.
Yo, stop hurting him, man. Let him show off the move.
Get hit by Sonic Fang, and then just stay down. Alright, so I'm going to get back turn. Just stay back. Alright, so even when I'm back turn, he can still do the move, and then he'll kind of sidestep off to the side.
Better viewing angles.
Yeah, and he could do a little shuffle right there. And yeah, 1, 3, 4 is to get that move. I believe
1 plus 3 plus 4.
1 plus 3 plus 4, yes.
Right.
And his next item move is with the super big gloves right there. Back 2 plus 3.
What the hell just happened? Did he just like teleport?
If you okay, Tekken knowledge. If you hit characters like back turn like this, and it has a special animation it goes to, it will flip the camera around.
Oh.
So Devil Jin like crouch dash 1 and then fly.
Mhm.
If you hit them back turn, the camera will do like that, and then it'll turn back around.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So basically, back 2 plus 3, it is a hit that transitioned into a special slow motion animation where they twirl in the air and comes down.
Best used in combo videos.
Yeah, you can. The only way if you want to land this in a combo or something, you have to wall carry them with Duck 1, just so you guys know. If you want to get little stop points. But yeah, you can.
Oh yeah!
You can hit it in a combo as long as you get it on the wall.
Oh, what the hell? You see him shaping different way? Wait, no, Cameron, get off me. He's
Oh yeah, and the other cool part.
he's all camera shy, trying to get out of there.
Yeah, and sometimes if you hit it like weird angle like that, Steve kind of. You see how it ends up like that? He's kind of like sideways like that.
Oh, okay.
Kind of just shuffle up. And then you could give him a high five and give him a clap. You did a good job, Jim.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So that's all of. Oh, wait, unblockables. We did the item move part.
Steve has 1 unblockable. It is quarter circle back forward 2. The reason why I really hate doing forward 2 just as a poke is because when I'm doing back dashes and I do back, quarter circle back, quarter circle back, I accidentally get unblockable. That's why when people see me do an unblockable like randomly, it's like I'm not doing it on purpose.
Yeah, you are, dude. It's a strat. They're just not prepared.
You can actually set up tech traps with this unblockable. I've hit JT Chinoy with it.
Nice, JT Chinoy.
But yeah.
Master at getting hit by unblockables. That's good.
But yeah, quarter circle back forward 2, will wall splat, does 84 damage, and I believe there's 2 versions to this, interestingly, and it depends
Of the
on
unblockable?
It depends on what the opponent does. You could actually block this unblockable.
What?
What?
Yeah, it's a glitch. Alright, let's try to have Al be on controller, and I'll try to show you guys. If you hit it at the tip, you can block this unblockable.
Neutral guard?
If I can do it on pad. Yeah, see? That one is less damage.
54.
That's just the block version, though. There's a version where it does no damage
Oh,
at all.
let's see.
I don't know if I could get it, but... Yeah, you guys are just gonna have to take my word on it.
Let me try it.
Yeah, well, I think it's a just frame block, actually, on the opponent's part. But
Oh.
You can...
Block.
This unblockable is not a good unblockable.
Because it's blockable.
Yeah, the unblockable, like the block version, just normal block version is like only 54, I think.
Right.
And the full hit version is like 80 something.
I haven't even seen the full hit yet.
This is the full hit version. Oh, I'll just hold forward. Yeah, see?
Oh, so it's different damage depending on if they block or not?
Yeah, and there's a just frame block to it where it does nothing.
Wow, I had no idea. So blocking Steve's unblockable does less damage
Than
than
taking-
getting hit by it or
yeah.
something. Or holding
Good
forward. Stuff.
Stuff, Namco.
Wow, that's really interesting. I had no idea that unblockables had that kind of stuff in it.
Only Steve.
Yeah. Alright, so that about wraps up his item move and unblockable. Let's go ahead and move on to Anti-Steve. Alrighty, so I don't know how to beat Steve, Mike. Tell me how to beat Steve without using Law, because that's a better match.
Okay, so how do you beat Steve? Steve is going to be trying to, Well, it really depends on how the player is playing Steve. They could play a really lame, keep out Steve with back 1 and down forward 2, so it's giving you a hard time getting in.
Right.
So the only thing you could really do against back 1 is try to crush it. And it has to be a true high crush move, otherwise it will counter hit you. Like
Right.
Jin's down 4, Brian's down back 3.
Lost Dragon Tail.
Yeah, those moves don't high crush until like the middle of the animation. So it has to be a true high crush move, like Heihachi trying to do a back 2 or something. That's not really gonna high crush anything. Yeah, see,
Right.
it has to be a legit high crush move because back 1 does have a really big hitbox. So the thing against Steve that really is hard for Steve is that his offense is like his mix-up is not scary unless you're this close, and generally you're gonna want to keep Steve at a mid-range distance.
Okay.
So you want to keep Steve away so he doesn't go for down back 3-2s and stuff.
Right.
And even when he is this close, it's pretty obvious what he's going for.
Mm-hmm.
So generally you just want to keep Steve out, and you have to realize where the holes are in Steve's game. Like, you have to be ducking, you have to be low pairing a lot of strings that Steve is throwing out at you. The unique thing about Steve is that he doesn't really have very many lows in his strings.
Right. That's actually one of the biggest weaknesses that Steve has, I think.
He doesn't really have very many lows other than back 1-2-1 in a string.
Right.
And this is like, you're not in a block stun when you block back 1-2. You can actually hop kick in between that.
Right.
Oh.
You have to do the up forward, neutral forward, delayed hop kick.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
The best thing you could actually do,
Mhm.
you could jump over it completely, and you could get to Steve's back.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that's pretty big. I kind of like that.
Yeah. If you have a character that has something like Steve's 2-1 up forward 2 on their back or something, like Law's Junkyard or something
Right.
like that,
Mhm.
you could really screw Steve up.
Right.
For that. Or you could just go for the low parry. It's the easiest option to do because back
Right.
1-2-1, if you block it,
Mhm.
it is safe. So
Right, but it is delayable, so you take what you can get, kind of.
yeah, and it's back 1 itself has so many options after. Like back 1, he doesn't even have to do it. Let's say back 1 and then flicker 2 if you try a low parry.
Well, let's tell him back one and block. What defensively? What's your best option?
Back 1 on block. If you absolutely have to do something, I would probably just do a jab or don't do anything at all.
Right.
Because
What
there
about-
is no big low that's coming from back 1.
What about a down jab?
Yeah, down jab.
The thing about down jab 2 is that back 1-2 will kind of
Yeah.
yeah. So Steve has an option to beat all of your options, but you also have an option to beat all of his options.
Right.
So the Steve player just has to put you in this like rock paper scissors situation, and
Right.
you just have to block. The best thing though, just block. There's nothing that's gonna happen other than
Yeah.
back 1-2.
Right.
He can do flicker throw. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, he does have a flicker throw. Flicker 1+2 is his flicker throw. The Oki is pretty much the same as his 1+2 throw.
Right.
So you're trying to get away from back 1. That's the main thing you want to get away from Steve. And down forward 2 is the second thing you want to get away from.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that's annoying about down forward 2 is that it's a homing move, so you're not going to be sidestepping it at all.
Right.
And it has pretty decent range.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if you're trying to like backdash it, it's going to be pretty difficult.
Right. And as we mentioned, counter rate launcher.
Yeah, but keep in mind, down forward 2 is -9 on block. One typical setup that a lot of people do is because a lot of Steve players try to bait you to do a 1-2 after down forward 2. Like, let's say he does a 1-2 after that. A lot of Steve players like to bait that so you can get a wall standing 1-2.
Okay.
But a lot of people like to do a down forward 1 because that's the general basic mid generic poke.
Mm-hmm.
If he does that, a lot of Steve players can go for the punch parry.
Interesting. Yeah, that actually reminds me. A lot of Steve players do that up forward 1 bait, and then they
Yep.
duck after it because it's a safe move.
Yeah, generally, like you create habits in Tekken. Like, let's say you block on a jumping move, your habit is to jab afterward because that's what people condition you to do with hop kicks and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So Steve as well, it's like you want to jab, but no, you don't. Yeah, so there's stuff like that. Little gimmicky setups. Flicker 1, down 1. One more thing about back 1. Back 1 and then you jab. It's gonna beat the flicker 1. Flicker 1 comes out in 12 frames and he's -3 after a back 1.
Okay.
So it's gonna be like a 15 frame a 15 frame flicker 1. So as long as you do something faster than that, you'll beat it. Yeah. But I have an option for that.
Steve has options. Period.
Yeah. A lot of Steve players like to, when they're playing this keep away game with back 1 and down forward 2, a lot of them also like to weave as well. So if you read the weave right, you could chase him down. It doesn't go as far as it used to. You could actually just hold forward, like dash in front of him to realign with your character. And then Steve really doesn't really go anywhere. But, just be careful for 4-1-2 on counter hit because that's going to hurt a lot.
Okay. Yeah, so if you see Steve weaving to his right, you got to be sure not to get counter hit.
Yeah, it's
right?
going to be a big thing.
Yeah, in general, when I play against a Steve player, I like to come in and not do anything.
Yeah,
because
see
he's
what he
looking
does.
for a counter hit. Steve is always looking for a back 1 or a down forward 2 if you're coming in at him, and it looks like you're trying to attack him. So that's always something I'm aware of when I'm playing against Steve.
And also keep in mind that Steve's moves, generally a lot of Steve players like to use the safe moves, back 1, down forward 2, down 2-1. They're all safe in a sense.
Right.
But you have to get your damage where you can. Like duck 2, a lot of them will try to bait you to do jabs and do duck 2s and stuff like that. You have to be ready for those kind
Yeah,
of
you have to be able to punish them.
Yeah.
Because he does have moves that are punishable, and Steve players will have to go for them eventually if you're playing safe enough.
Yeah. It's really annoying playing against Steve because he's like, you want to sidestep stuff, but his down forward 2 is just really
Right.
good. So it's like, and if you do, if you sidestep and hit a button, it's going to give him a full combo. So
Yeah.
really risky. And also, there's a lot of setups for Steve. Like, generally, you'll see a lot of setups for Steve because, Steve's been out for so long, and this is the kind of stuff that people have come about with Steve. Like, flicker 1, down 1 is 0 on block. So a lot of Steve players like to bait a sidestep or a retaliation of some sort. Like, let's say Heihachi tries to do a down forward 1 afterwards, or anything, right? I could bait something like that. Or if they try to do something slower, I could just do a back 1 if they try to homing move me for weaving. So it's like, okay, do I try to track him? Or what if I get counter hit at back 1? Or should I
Right.
sidestep him for doing a back 1? It's like, it's always constant guessing. But generally, main strategy against Steve that makes it really difficult is get the lead on Steve. Get a lead on
Right.
Steve and maintain it.
Yeah, because if you're just standing there after that, he doesn't have a whole lot of lows to break you down.
If you just stand there, what is Steve gonna do? He could run up down 1, run up down 2-1, down 2-1, but really that's not that bad,
Right.
As long as your throw game is on point, throw breaking game is on point,
Mhm.
Steve is gonna have a hard time breaking down turtles. So you kind of have to find a way around that with Steve, and you kind of have to get really creative.
Yeah, and if you have a punch parry, use it.
Yeah, if
Because
you
he
have
has
a
no
punch parry-
kicks.
You have a punch parry, use it, but keep in mind that flicker 1 is
It's
unpunch
unparryable.
parryable. Except Heihachi. Yeah,
Wait, is that still unparryable? Are you sure?
Flicker 1
Okay.
Flicker 1 is still unparryable except Heihachi because Heihachi's counters everything no matter what.
All right.
And Steve's up forward 1 is also unparryable.
Interesting.
Peekaboo down 1. Don't try to mash grab after that because 1+2 will counter and grab you. and stuff
Right.
like that.
Oh, and
Just
also,
little tricks like this.
Isn't that grab pretty much a homing move too, no matter where?
No, it doesn't track actually.
I heard there's no way to avoid that.
I remember the tracking was pretty good, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Especially after you get hit by a peekaboo down 1. You're not going anywhere.
It's just really good because the grab itself is 10 frames
Mhm.
and he's at plus.
Okay.
So they can't move. But like if I'm just doing it in the open and you sidestep it correctly, not after while you're at negative,
Right.
you can step it for sure.
Okay. Alrighty. Anything else we want to say for anti-Steve? I don't know if there was a whole lot of help there.
You just have
Just
to
be smart.
be smart.
Punish when
get
you
your-
can because he's a very safe character. So like
Yeah,
Yes.
you need to get your damage in there.
One more thing. If you're playing against Steve, don't be afraid to use -15 lows. He
right.
only has a while standing 1-2 for that until 19. So like characters like Miguel, where he has a down back 1 that's -17,
Mhm.
or Dragunov, where he has a -18 down back 3. Steve lucks out. He can't get a launcher. So,
Right.
if you're gonna go low and predicting that back 1 anyways,
Mhm.
and like Dragunov's down back 3 is a true high crush. So if you want to crush it with down back 3.
Right, and even also standing, he doesn't have a launching 15-frame Punisher.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right, so if you have something like that to take advantage of,
Yeah,
take advantage of it.
Yeah, take advantage of his inability to launch characters.
Right. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
No? All right, so as usual, check out our website, www.levelupyourgame.com. Hit us up on Twitter, Level Up Your Game. The name is MYK at Twitter. And 404 error. Other than that, we've got our app on the App Store and
On the Android App Store too.
and iPhone, I guess. Yeah, that's where it started. So we've got our apps out. Check them out. They're pretty cool. They're very useful. We use them on the show. Other than that, Is that it? Maybe we'll do more of these episodes.
Sorry, this was a long episode.
It was really long, longer than
Steve
expected.
Is pretty complicated with stances. So.
Right. Yeah,
You guys asked for it. You guys got it. Now stop whining.
They're gonna ask for Zafina next. Just watch. I can feel it. All right. So anyway, that's all. We'll see you. We'll catch you guys next time. So kick back, relax, and good. No, wait. That was the opposite way.
Tune in next time.
Tune in next time to level up your game.
Keep that in,